Hey everyone, I'm Uriah Kaiser, publisher of Potomac Local, and today we are talking with Chris Peden of Penden Accounting Services in Manassas. Chris, thanks for coming on our live stream today. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about getting ready for tax time. It is January. It is that time of year to start putting your paperwork in order and start thinking about that April 15th looming deadline. Hopefully many of you get that thing done well before April 15th. So Chris, we just posted one of your stories, one of your content partner articles on Potomac Local. We thank you so much for being a Potomac Local content partner. That story told us what we need to do, the 5 things that we need to do to get ready for tax time, but you're going to help them make it easier. What are some of those things we need to do to start getting ready?
Well, the first thing is to gather your documents together. And what I said in the post was you go down to Walmart or Target or store and you get a 5 divider folder and you just start throwing the documents in there. You're going to have a section there for your income, another one for any kind of, say, government documents you're going to get, or from the bank. Say you're going to get refunds, you're going to get your mortgage statement, you're going to get an IRA statement. Throw this in there. And then you also want to use the other buckets for, say, things like charitable contributions, because a lot of people are going to need to have documents for those in order to be able to deduct those. And then if you run a business, you're going to have your expenses, what have you. You want to have some receipts for those, just so that when you hand it off to the accountant, they can look through it and understand what they're looking at and how they can deduct it. And then if you do have a business, a P&L, or a profit and loss statement, is very helpful to help make sure that everything gets reported and reported correctly. So those are what you're going to need to get started on your taxes for the year. And then also making a call to your CPA and saying, hey, can we talk for a little bit before you go absolutely crazy, and we can have a nice civil conversation about what it needs to happen, and maybe do a little tax planning while we're there, because it's early in the year, and the sooner you can put plans in place, the less you have to worry about it down the road.
So, and that's one of the things that you point out in your piece. Call the CPA now while it's early, while there's still weeks and months, actually months to go before that tax deadline looms. And for the people who are really don't know how to begin that conversation, when they pick up that phone, they say, "Oh, okay, I know I need to call now," but what are some of the things that what are we going to talk about?
Okay, well, what I generally ask people, I start them out with is, look, no, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Because really, I would rather have you ask me something just out of pure honesty. Hey, I don't know, and just ask me about it, and I'll give you the best answer I can. And sometimes what's considered dumb questions are actually very insightful, and that, hey, you know what, this could lead to a deduction for you. Let's delve more into that. But you should never feel stupid talking to an accountant. If you do, you're talking to the wrong accountant. So starting off with, say, okay, hey, when you make the call and say, is there something that you need to have an organizer you can send me so I can start getting everything together, like I talked about in the article? And I actually myself have a organizer that I send people. They can just go through and just do a checklist, say watching some of the bowl games that are still there, just start throwing them in, or maybe even a basketball game and just start throwing them in. Then we can sit down, have a conversation, find out about what's happened to you during the year, any kind of events that may have triggered something. Did you sell a house? You sell some stocks? Did you have a kid? Those all things can lead to other questions that we can have a discussion about and see what else we can do. And really be ready just to talk and just have a nice chat with somebody who wants to help you out.
And these types of discussions, as you said, lead to other better questions. And ultimately, I think the goal here is to get you not only get your taxes done this year, but get you in a better position down the road, that could put your business and your household in a better position in the out tax years. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct, because you may be thinking about, hey, we're planning on, say, retire, we're going to start a business, we're going to expand the business, and then that leads to other discussions that, hey, okay, if you're thinking about doing this, here are some tax things that you could do down the road, here's some strategies, because the IRS, it's a huge, there are a ton of regulations, I don't even know all of them, but with some research, you may be able to find a way to use the tax code to save you and actually make you some money.
Folks, I want you to go to PotomacLocal.com right now and check out Chris's post, his most recent one, the 5 things you need to make preparing your tax return easier. And while you're there, I'd also like you to sign up for our email newsletter. Every Monday is Money Monday, and that's where Chris dispels some of his best advice for the Potomac Local readers, and we send that out every Monday for you in your email box. You can't miss it. It's a great read, very helpful. We want to help you better understand not only tax time, but try to help you understand better business planning for when it comes to your financials in your business, your home, your entire life. Chris is a content partner here at Potomac Local, and that is what he does. So you don't want to miss that email again. Go to PotomacLocal.com and sign up for that again, Money Monday. And one of those articles that we have posted a few weeks ago is actually one of my favorite, Chris, and it is that the headline alone is "Get Your Kids to Work for You," right? And I love that because not only is the headline catching, it's hire your children, save on your taxes. Here's how. And I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people back in the day, I guess farmers, right? They had a lot of kids to work the farm or help out around the farmhouse or whatever. But, in today's date and time, you could still hire your kids.
That's exactly right. And really what you need to do is, one, treat them like an employee, actually write them a check and make it out to them so that in reimbursement for their services. And secondly, make sure that they're doing work that is appropriate for their age. I have a friend of mine who runs a tax business out in California, and he actually puts together binders for his clients. And he posted a picture of his kid, 7, 8 years old, putting together the binder. He could do that. That's legitimate. He can pay the kid for doing that. And it actually has to be work for your business. You can't pay the kids to stay out of your hair so you can get some work done. Sorry, can't do that.
The IRS
has run through my head. Yes, exactly. So, but make sure and then sign them up, treat them like employees, put them on the payroll, register them, and write the check to them. Or just you can write the check in their name to set up a retirement account for them. That's compensation. So get them started on their Roth so they can retire and not have to work for the rest of their lives. Maybe get them to retire at age 30. Although most kids are probably not going to be too interested in that. They're going to want the cash now. So,
so is this something that it pertains to people who have businesses, or can mom and dad who may not own a business also pay their kids to work? I guess that you need to have a family business of some sort to start this. Is that correct?
You actually need to have a business. It needs to be a business purpose to that. I don't know, lobby your congressman and ask to see if you can put a law in place to be able to deduct your kids' chores on your tax form.
So chores
right now, no.
Chores aren't. You can't pay your kids to do the chores
and write it off. Yeah.
Gotcha. It's a fascinating read, folks. You want to check that out. Again, if you own a business and you have kids, you can indeed put them to work for you and set them up for success. You can get that story again at PotomacLocal.com. Chris, you are in Manassas and you work with a lot of different types of clients in your practice. But I want to ask you, what were you doing just prior to founding your business?
Well, I had the opportunity to work for Verizon for about, I want to say 13, when did I start? Yeah, 13 years. I started off working in the general accounting department. Then I moved over to the Sarbanes-Oxley group, where basically what my job was to help people write down what it is they did, their processes, and then later in the year come back and test to see that they followed their processes. This is the result of the Enron scandal. They passed this, the Sarbanes-Oxley law that went into effect, and just making sure that policies were being followed to make sure that everything was happening correctly and that the internal controls were working effectively. It was a really great job to have, because just making sure that the people who relied on Verizon to do a great job for them, that everything was working in the company and that the financials were solid and no funny business was happening. It was a great company to work for.
And you then decided that you wanted to get out of the corporate world and come and start your own business so you could help people, entrepreneurs, small business owners, with their financial tax questions. Is it correct?
That's correct. Yeah, I've always liked to help people. When I was in college, I actually tutored students in finance, tax, economics, and accounting during my junior and senior years, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Met a lot of great people, and just loved sitting there and explaining these concepts that just seemed a little bit above their heads, but actually weren't. They just weren't being explained in their language. So I love translating it to what I call normal people talk, and I still love doing that because there's a lot of strange words in the accounting world. I just want to put it down and make sure that a normal person can understand it.
Folks, you can get in touch with Chris Peden at Penden Accounting Services. Again, he's a Potomac local content partner. We highly encourage you to bring him your questions and your challenges. He is there to help. You can reach him at 703-967-1948, and his website is PedenAccountingServices.com. That is 9071 Center Street in Centrifuge, which is the awesome co-working space in downtown Manassas. It's a great office. Go see him and get some coffee while you're there too. It's really good. I've been there, trust me. Chris, thanks a lot, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Uriah. Have a great afternoon.